Welcome to my rules explanation slash playthrough of Terraforming Mars. This is the Steam port of the game. Let's just get right into it. We will be playing against one other player. We'll be playing against a hard robot. So the Steam port, and as far as I can tell, all of the digital versions are of the base game only. They won't include any of the expansions to date. So at the beginning of the game, you're going to choose which corporation you are. The idea in the game is you're representing a corporation, or you are a corporation. I don't know. Corporations are people, right? You're representing a corporation's interests in terraforming Mars, and obviously getting things from Mars to further your corporation's success, and then also helping Mars to become terraformed. We're not going to worry too much about what these two mean. Those are both, I'm pretty pumped about choosing either one of those, though. We're going to come over here. So at the beginning, you're given a selection of corporations to choose, and you're also given a hand of 10 cards. This only has 2 kinds, so we'll talk about the third kind when we see it, I guess. These cards, each card represents a patent within the game. Each card is individual, is unique, and will help towards your tableau building within the universe of terraforming Mars. They'll help you terraform Mars. So let's talk a little bit down here. We have which corporation we are. These are our resources. What resources we have on hand, which are the bottom ones in the brackets, and how much we produce each generation, so each round of play. So it's going from left to right. We start with mega credits, which are the in-game currency, money, which I might, as an American, in a very Americentric way, refer to as dollars, which I will try to be conscious of. Then we have steel, titanium, plants, energy, and heat. So let's take a look at what these cards, let's look at the anatomy of a card. We have pretty much, it looks like a good mix of pretty much all possibilities up here, except for the third type of card, as I mentioned. So what we see here are 2 types of patents. Patents that will have a continued effect throughout the game, and patents that won't. So let's start with the patents that will have a continued effect on the game. They are the blue ones, and they typically will affect they'll trigger whenever a certain condition is met, no matter how many times, just whenever it's met, a thing will happen, or there'll be an action that you can take once per generation. So let's take a look at rover construction. Up here, we have the cost to play the patent into our tableau. So it would cost us 8 mega credits. And up here, we have, to the left will be the cost, and to the right will be any tags that will come with it. This is the building tag, and it corresponds to steel. So when you're paying for this, you could pay for it with mega credits, or you could pay for it using steel, where each steel is worth 2 mega credits. So I could pay for this with 4 steel, or 2 steel and 4 mega credits, or 1 steel and 6 mega credits. Math. You understand math. Now what this means is anytime a city tile, so anytime there's a hexagon on the card that is indicative of a tile being placed on the surface of Mars, which is in the background here, anytime a city tile is played by any player, you will get $2. See, I've already done it. 2 mega credits. Just bink, bink, bink. Just right in the old coffer, right there. So that's what this means. If this happens, then this happens. And so this is a passive blue card that will always be in play. This symbol here, this is a victory point at the end of the game. We'll talk a little bit about how victory points are going to affect things. There are a couple different ways to score points within the game. And one way is by having points on cards, like this one. So let's talk about Extreme Cold Fungus, because it's going to bring a new card detail to us, which is the prerequisite. And that's going to be up here, like this file folder tab. So within Mars, this is really good. Actually, we have all three types up here. In order to consider Mars successfully terraformed, we need to meet 3 criteria. There need to be 9 ocean tiles on the map. The temperature has to be at a certain point. I can't remember what it is exactly, but we'll see it as soon as we get through this sort of setup phase. And the oxygen has to be at a certain concentration. I think it's 14%, but I'm going to feel real silly if it's not. So what this means is you can only play this patent if this condition is true. So if the temperature is less than or equal to negative 10 degrees Celsius, then you can play extreme cold fungus. Otherwise, you can't play extreme cold fungus because it's right there in the name. It's not extremely cold, and those fungus aren't going to thrive. Those fungi, I guess. This fungus will not thrive. Over here, this prerequisite means the oxygen has to be greater than or equal to 4%. And this over here, there must be the number of ocean tiles must be greater than or equal to 4. There are other kinds of prerequisites that you can have as well. You can't tell from here. There might be one that says you have to have a certain number of space tags, or a certain number of building tags. And we'll see those as the game goes on. So what does extreme cold fungus do? It gives us a microbe tag, which is useful. And it will, as an action... So as an action, we can either gain a plant, which is one of our resources, or we can add 2 microbes to any other card that takes microbes. So as an action, which will come over here, we can do this once per generation. And that's not a bad one to just kind of get some plants. It's a okay early game thing. It'll keep producing. Now, once the temperature reaches, say, negative 8 degrees Celsius, even though you wouldn't have been able to play the card, you can still get the benefit of the card as long as it was played while this condition was met. So it won't go away once you get to negative 8 Celsius. Okay, so this asterisk, this little star here, indicates that it's an action. As an action, this thing can happen. So let's take a look, or it gives us more information. This is something we can do once per round. Research Outpost has a science tag, not space. This is a science tag, has a city tag, and also has a building tag. So again, our steel discount can apply to the Research Outpost, and it's going to cost us 18 mega credits. And what this is when you play a card, anytime you play a card, it's going to cost 1 mega credit fewer. It's countable. 1 mega credit fewer than the price normally would be. So if I had played this card and then I played this card would only cost me 12 mega credits instead of 13. And it lets me place a city tile on the map, which you'll remember over here with rover construction, whenever a city tile is placed, I would get 2. So if I had this out and then I played this, I mean, you can understand how the cards have some sort of synergy now. Let's see if we have any other blue cards. We do. We have symbiotic fungus, which you can only play if the temperature is greater than or equal to negative 14 degrees Celsius. So it's not extreme cold fungus, it's just symbiotic fungus. Why I have so much fungus? 4 mega credits, microbe tag, and this lets us, let's see what this says, add a microbe to another card. Now this another card is very important because that means I can't use this action to add a microbe onto this card. Now microbes are a type of resource that only live on cards. Microbes are one of those resources, as are, come on, oh, where'd they go? As are birds and animals. That's what this paw print is. So birds are an animal card, little paw print, and I understand. They're birds. They're birds. We'll just say they're birds and they leave paw prints. And the oxygen has to be greater than or equal to 13% in order to play them. So they're a later game kind of beast. It's going to take some preparation on the planet before birds will be comfortable and able to thrive on Mars. As an action, you can add a bird on a bird resource to this card. Now, to play this card, somebody's plant production is going to have to go down by 2. And so remember, the red mean, did we talk about what the red means? Yeah, red means anybody, right? If something is outlined in red, it means anybody. If it's not, it means you. So in this case, anybody's plant production. So this value up here, and that's what the brown background means. Anybody's plant production has to go down by 2 in order, because that's what the birds are going to eat. You're still producing those plants, but you can't have access to them because it's for the birds now. The birds must eat them. And at the end of the game, you'll get 1 victory point per bird on this card, which is pretty neat. Over here, we have aquifer pumping, cost 18. We have a building tag again, which we can use these resources for. And once per round, we can spend 8 mega credits to place an ocean tile on the map. And this sort of brown arrow here means you can use steel at that same rate of 1 steel is 2 mega credits. So you could use steel to place a new ocean tile, which is nice. Okay, so those are the blue cards. The blue cards are, like I said, they're going to have an effect that's either going to be triggered whenever something else happens each time it happens, like our rover construction, or are going to be something you can use once a turn, like our fungi and our aquifer pumping. Now, let's come over here and take a look at our green card. Green cards are going to stay out. They'll still be visible for their tags, but they won't. This will only, whatever happens on the card will only trigger 1 time. So, for worms, the oxygen has to be greater than or equal to 4%. We can pay this amount of money. It's a microbe card. And for every plant, you get a plant production for every 2 microbe tags you have in play, including this one, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, including this one. So if I had extreme cold fungus out and then I played worms, that's 2 microbe tags. So my plant production would go up by 1 step. That's not bad. That's a good card. Plant production is good. Over here we have the capital, which can only be played when there have been 4 oceans, when 4 oceans have been placed on the board. 26 mega credits, you can use steel towards it. And you get to place a city tile. Your energy production has to go down by 2 because you need to supply energy to the capital. But your money production is going to go up by 5 because the capital city is booming. At the end of the game, you'll get 1 victory point per ocean that this city is adjacent to. So you'll notice that this city tile is a little bit different too. It's got like what looks like a Tower of the Americas or a Space Needle here in the middle. That's the capital, and you'll be able to differentiate it from other cities on the map. No problem. So we have this lake with a name, and the temperature has to be at 0. Otherwise, I suppose it'll freeze. It lets you place 2 lakes, 2 ocean tiles on the map, and you get 2 victory points at the end of the game. So that's fun. And then grass, the temperature has to be greater than or equal to negative 16 degrees Celsius. You're going to get a plant tag, which is fun. You'll get 3 loose plants and 1 plant production. So we talked a little bit about the 3 ways to terraform the planet and what the 3 criteria are. Building oceans. I hate building oceans. It doesn't make sense. Building oceans, raising the temperature, raising the oxygen level. So anytime you do something that's helping sort of accelerate the game end, the terraforming, the successful terraformation of Mars, you're going to get what's called a terraforming rating point. So anytime you place an ocean, you get 1 point. Anytime you raise the oxygen, you get a terraforming rating. Anytime you raise the temperature, you get a terraforming rating. So for example, this would let you raise your terraforming rating by 2. Why does that matter? Besides, terraforming rating clearly is good and getting points is good in any kind of board game. Well, I bet there are some where you don't want points. It doesn't matter. At the end of a generation, once everybody's played all the cards and taken all the actions that they can afford or that they want to do, we will produce the amount of goods that are in our production. Like we'll produce at our production level, and your money production is this number plus your terraforming rating. So the more that you terraform Mars, the more money you'll make for the next, like for the subsequent rounds, which is useful. Also, your terraforming rating is the first part of points calculation. We will also have points on cards. We will have milestones and awards, which we'll talk about once we get into the game. And we'll also get points from forests and cities, mainly forests and cities, which we'll also talk about once we get into the game. So the main ones that you need to know about: terraforming rating, getting that, working towards that end game is going to get you points, as well as points on cards as of right now. So knowing these cards, knowing we have a fair number of cards that have prerequisites, and knowing that that's pretty much the main thing that we know, we can come back here and look at the corporations that we have in mind. So we either have Inventrix or Ecoline. Boy, either one of these would be pretty, probably leaning towards this one. So Inventrix, so the corporation, this gives you a little bit of flavor text about the corporation. Here is what you'll start with. So Inventrix starts with 45 mega credit, and as your first action in the game, you get to draw 3 cards. Why is that important? You might be wondering. Well, if you draw these cards that we have to choose from, in order to sort of get the patent from whoever designed it, we have to pay them 3 mega credits. So each of these cards costs 3 credits, and then will cost the amount of up in the top left to just play it. Whereas when Inventrix starts, you just get 3 cards drawn, and they're free. They're free things. Now, you're not choosing them. They might be kind of rubbish, but that's okay. Inventrix's special ability is the temperature, oxygen, and ocean requirements are +2 or -2 steps. Your choice in each case. That might be really good for us, because that would mean that we could play worms when the oxygen is greater than or equal to 2% instead of 4. We could play extreme cold fungus later. We could play the capital sooner. Like, we're kind of messing with time and space a little bit with Inventrix. Now, Ecoline is going to let us start with 36 money, but we'd start with 2 plant production and 3 plants. That's interesting. And, okay. So to place you know what? We're not going to be Ecoline, so I'm going to be Inventrix. I don't know why I'm acting like I'm not going to be. All right, we'll be Inventrix. So we're definitely going to get the cards that have prerequisites. We're going to get worms and the fungus and the capital and more fungus and the birds and the lakes. Oh dear. And the grass. So far that's 21 money out of our 45 money. That's a good amount. Aquifer pumping, typically it costs, I want to say 16 mega credits to put an ocean down, but I'm not that interested in getting aquifer pumping. Research Outpost is really good because it lowers the cost of all your cards, and if you play it early enough, it'll pay for itself. So I'm inclined to get that one. I like rover construction too, because I like making that money off of other people's cities. The problem is we're already spending 24 money, so we're only going to have 21 money, which means that we'll be able to play Research Outpost, and then we'll probably have to pass pretty early in the game, that's not too bad actually, because some of these we're still not going to be able to play just yet. Now, if any of you know how to play Terraforming Mars and are critiquing my style, just know that you're probably right. I don't win Terraforming Mars very often. My plans usually are very spaghetti-ish. I still like rover construction. So, like for worms, we would want to wait until we had probably 5 microbes out on the board. So that this would be the 6th that we could get 3 plant production. You know what? Let's just see what happens. Let's just buy all of the cards except for 1. I feel like that's a terrible idea. All right. So my first action, you might remember, is Inventrix, is I have to draw 3 cards. So that's what this is. I have a forced action. This makes it sound much more aggressive than it is. Okay. So this is new, right? This is our temperature track. Bleedle-deedle-deedle-dee. Once we get to 8 degrees Celsius, raising the temperature is useless at that point. It's not going to get you any more terraforming. Your terraforming rating is not going to go up anymore at that point. This is our terraforming rating right now, 20. So our money income each round is going to be 0 plus 20. So you'll notice that the temperature goes up by steps of 2, bing, bong, bing, bong, bong, and the oxygen is going to go up by 1%. Once it gets to 14, then the oxygen is done, and we have 9 oceans. So, and this tells us how many rounds we've had. Okay, now you might notice, like, next to -24, next to -20, next to 0 degrees, and next to 8% oxygen, there are these. These are bonuses that the corporation that hits that point first will get. So the first person the only person who raises the temperature to -24 degrees Celsius will gain a heat production. Same with -20. The person who gets it up, or the corporation that gets it up to 0 degrees, will get to place an ocean tile if there are any left. And the person who gets it to 8% oxygen will get to raise the temperature by 1 step if it hasn't already maxed out. So that's the terraforming sort of status. Up here, we have standard projects. So standard projects are things that you can take without playing a card. Now, they usually they're not going to have any bonus that a card would have. They're not going to give you any points outside of increasing your terraforming rating. So selling a patent means discarding a card. You can do it as many times as you want for 1 action, and you would get 1 mega credit per card that you do this with. Clearly, it's not the most optimal of moves because you're buying those patents for 3 credits each. That's not to say that you might not get desperate and decide that you need some money to play worms, I guess, as an example. Power plant is increase your energy production by 1 for 11 mega credits. Asteroid, raise the temperature by 1 step, so by 2 degrees. For 14 credits, place an aquifer for 18 credits, place a greenery tile. And the greenery is what's going to raise the oxygen. So you're basically placing a forest that raises the oxygen by 1 step. So these 3 are going to give you a terraforming rating point when you do. And then building a city will get you 1 money production and cost 25. Now, when you're building at the end of the game, now we can talk about more in-game condition, winning points, things. I lost control of that sentence. So you'll recall that you can get points from points from cards. Your terraforming rating is going to be added into your points as well. And the number of greenery tiles you have on the board, you'll get 1 point per tile. Each city is worth a number of points equal to the number of greenery tiles adjacent to the city. So a city's maximum value could be 6. It doesn't matter whose greenery tile it is. So you could build your city next to somebody else's greenery tile and get a point from it. Of course, if you build a greenery tile next to your own city, that greenery tile ostensibly is worth 2 points, which is pretty neat. Um, Wonderful. So that's another form of scoring, greenery tiles and cities. Now there are also milestones and awards. So let's talk a little bit about milestones. There will be a maximum of 3 milestones each game. Each one costs 8 to purchase, 8 mega credits, and is worth 5 points at the end of the game. So, Terraformer is the first person to get a terraforming rating of 35. Mayor, first person to have 3 cities. Well, not first person, but somebody who has those. So if you get 3 greenery tiles, you want to buy the milestone. That's worth 5 points. That's nice. Gardener is 3 forest tiles, 3 greenery tiles. Builder is 8 building tags on green or blue cards. And planner is 16 cards in hand. Now we might actually be able to get to planner because we already have 12 cards, which is a lot of cards. So we should think about that. So the first 3 that are purchased, and then that's it. So only 3 of these will get scored. Now those, remember, this symbol is victory points, but at the end of the game. It's not going to add to your terraforming rating, so it's not going to add to your money production during the course of the game. There are also awards. Again, 3 will be purchased. The first award to be purchased is going to cost 8 money, and then the next one I think is 14, and then the next one is 20. So it goes up to kind of try to motivate you to get the awards out early. Now, what do the awards do? You'll notice here, first and second, really in a 2-player game, it just means first is worth 3 points. So awards, let's start with milestones. Milestones are given to the person who buys the milestone after they successfully meet the criteria of the milestone, right? You have 3 cities on the board. Cool. You buy the milestone for landlord, or for not landlord, for mayor. Bam. You did it. You did it. You got 5 points. This one, you can buy the award, but you might not get it. So landlord is most owned tiles on the board, and all tiles are owned except for the ocean tiles. So if you place an ocean, it's not considered anybody's. It's the ocean. Banker is the most money production, I want to say. Yeah, the most mega credit production. Scientist is the most science tags on cards, not including events. Yeah. Thermalist is the most heat resource. So not production, but resource. And miner is the most titanium and steel combined resource, not production. So those will provide points too at the end of the game. So that's it. That's how you score points. Terraforming rating, points on cards, points from milestones and awards, and greenery and city points. The end. That's it. That's Terraforming Mars, guys. Thanks for watching. Okay, let's get to playing now, because this hard robot has been waiting for a while. Difficult robot? Does that sound better? I don't know. Hard robot feels weird when I say it. Okay, so when you come into your hand of cards, it will tell you if it's sort of faded out like this, it means you can't play it. So I can't play this one because I don't meet the requirements yet. I don't meet the prerequisites, have not been met. That's the case for all of these. This I can play because the temperature is less than or equal to negative 10 degrees Celsius. This I can play because there's no prerequisites and I have the amount of money. These are the 3 cards that I drew. Cool. Let's talk about those. So this is great. This is an event. We didn't talk about events. Events are red, and they are played once, and then they no longer will affect the game. That's what this arrow means. It means in the physical version, you turn the card upside down. So even if it had any tags, those tags wouldn't count towards other prerequisites. Like if this had a microbe tag, it wouldn't count towards the worms getting plant production for every 2 microbes in play. But this is just the temperature has to be greater than or equal to negative 8 degrees Celsius, and you get to place an ocean. That's pretty fun. Business network. This is an earth tag. Lets you look at the top card and either buy it or discard it. And when you buy it, it's three mega credits, just like it would be. But in order to play this card, you have to lower your production by 1 step. I don't like that card, I don't think. So my choices are, I can play a card. I've already done 1 action. On your turn, you can do 2 actions if you feel so inclined. You can either do 1 action, you can do 2 actions, or you pass. Once you pass, you're out of the generation for the rest of the generation. So if you don't have very many actions, sometimes it's not the worst idea to only take 1 at a time so that you still stay in and you can still react to what the other player's doing. I'm not that worried about it right now because there's nothing that I want to cling to, really. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play Research Outpost so that all of the cards I play for the rest of the game are going to be -1. And I can get a city out. And getting a city out is not a terrible idea because it gives me a place to put all my plants around. So let's play Research Outpost. I'm going to place a city next to no other tile, which is not difficult. Now, typically the placement rules for tiles are, if it's a greenery tile, it has to be adjacent to a tile that you already own on the map. Otherwise, typically you can place it wherever you want. Some cards will have requirements like must be in a space reserved for oceans, which are these spaces with the blue outline, or must be on a place that gives you a bonus of building materials. Like these, whenever you build on a space, you get the resources that are under the space. So I could build here and get a card. I could build here and get 2 steel. I could build up here and get 2 steel. I could build here and get a titanium and a plant. I'm not that concerned about plants right now. So you can also turn in 8 plants and make a greenery tile on the board. Or you can turn in 8 heat to raise the temperature by 1 step. You see this little arrow here. This means that in production, any unused energy that's in here is going to go and become heat, which is pretty interesting. It's stored as heat. So what are we going to do? We are going to... I'm going to take this steel because I like this space. Well, if I have a city here and then I have forests around, and I have a city here and I have forests around, and then a city here. Cities can't be adjacent to each other. And I want to get maximum points from forests. Okay, we'll build there. So we got 2 steel resources. And that's my city. It's outlined in my color. And they built an ocean. They did a standard project, so they paid money for that ocean. And then they did something else. I don't know what they did. So we are probably going to pass. On the right over here, this will tell us any effects that we're getting from either our corporation or our blue card. So this, we know that our passive effect is that we pay 1 less money. This is our corporation effect. If we had any actions that we could take, they would be here. Okay, that's enough. Thank you. This tells us where we're at victory points wise. These are the tags that we have in play. We have 1 building, 2 science, and 1 city. You'll see some of the cards will have requirements for science tags. Card resources. So like with birds, remember we can put animal resources on it. Extreme cold fungus has microbe resources. But we're going to go ahead and pass because it's the first round. We don't have any money. We don't have any money. There's not a lot of things that we can do. We could use the steel potentially, but we couldn't. None of the little cheap cards take steel. So our decision is made for us. We're going to pass. And then we sit and we wait for the robot to finish. They bought a power plant, which raises their production, and then they pass. So now we produce. So we have 20 more money, which is great. They raise their terraforming rating. How interesting. How interesting. All right, so at the beginning of each generation, each player is going to get 4 new cards that they can purchase if they want. Now remember, there's still 3 mega credits each. So I could either get sponsors, which will raise my money production by 2, which isn't bad. The Callista Penal Mines, which is a bit expensive. Ooh, this is a space tag. We haven't seen a space tag. This is a space tag. This is a Jupiter tag. Space tag, you can use titanium resources as a discount for cards with a space tag. They're 1 to 3. So steel's 1 to 2, titanium's 1 to 3. And Jupiter tags, we'll talk about when that comes into play. Or is it? Yeah, it's Jupiter. This will give me 2 points and 3 money production, but it's expensive. This is an event that just means the next card you play, basically it's a lesser version of my corporation ability. I'm not that interested. Wave power, if there are 3 or more oceans, or 1 or more ocean with my I almost said civilization, my corporation bonus, you get 1 power production. It's not, this is different than doing the special project, which lets you buy an energy plant for 11 money, because this is going to cost a total of 10 money, but I would also get a point from it. So I'm going to take that one. And I mean, I like the idea of sponsors. I like that money. And I'm probably going to regret not taking that. But I have so many cards. Okay, I need to focus just on making money right now and getting cards. Making money, getting cards. It's going to cost me 9 mega credits to get these 3 cards, and I'm fine with that. You notice turn order changes. So it's just going to swap back and forth between me and the robot. So they're playing GHG factories and greenhouse gas factories, which gives them 4 heat production. Jeepers creepers. So we're pretty close to getting that milestone for cards, 16 cards. So that's what we're going to push towards. And plus I can't play that many cards this turn anyway. Dang it. I wish I should have gotten that out. I should get that out now though. And so that costs 6. And where's the money one? The money one costs 4. So that's 10. And this would cost 6. So that's 16. And I have 2 steel, which would make it 12. So I'm one off to be able to play all 3 of those cards and use my steel to play this card, and this card, which I kind of want to do. Now remember, I can make money by selling a card, and I'm very tempted to sell this card, the Biomass Combustors, just because it's worth a -1 point at the end of the game. And I'm not interested in it. You lower somebody's plant production and raise your energy production by 2, but I'm not usually that keen on doing that. So that's what we're going to do. We will standard project. We'll sell a patent. I don't feel bad about it because we didn't buy it. It was one of our cards that we got in the beginning of the game. So we will sell this card for 1 mega credit. And then we will play. Now we could play Extreme Cold Fungus for next time. These 2 can wait. But if they're thinking about building a city, we want to build this one. So we will decrease the cost of this by 4. And so it only cost us 3 to play this. Because, oh no, it already took into account the subtraction. I think it already lowered the price for my special ability. I think it did. And I don't think that's going to bode well. It's not. I'm not going to be able to play both of these. Okay. Unless I sell. I'm not going to sell 2 other cards. I would need to sell 3 other cards. That's not going to happen. So we're going to do sponsors. So remember, I have this effect where the cost of the card goes down by 1. Apparently, they have already factored that in, which is a little bit... It confused me a little bit. Because clearly, on the cards, that doesn't happen in real life. So we'll skip our second action, and we'll go ahead and pass our turn. And let this generation end. Yes. All right. They produce all their energy, all their heat, and we're just producing a slight amount of money. Oh, we played a lot of cards too. Dadgum. Okay, that's fine. Ooh. Okay, so I'm tempted to get bushes because our plant production goes up by 2 and we get 2 plants, which is nice. I'm tempted to get kelp farming for a similar reason. I mean, kelp farming is like good bushes. I remember I have that modifier. Strip mining, you lose 2 power, but you get 2 steel production, 1 titanium production, and you raise the oxygen level by 2. I mean, it's an expensive card, but that production is really good. So we're going to take that because I don't know how to refuse these cards. All right, and then the electro catapult lets you either spend 1 plant to get 7 money or 1 steel to get 7 money. Dang it. I want that too. Well, whatever. This game, hopefully this game goes long enough for me to be able to fully open up with all of these options. I spent a lot of money on cards that turn, which is good. Next time I need to buy at least 1 card, possibly 2, depending on what I play this round. So I probably will play... Can I play Wave Power and Extreme Cold Fungus? I can't. Let's play Wave Power. Which, remember, even though it requires 3 oceans, I have, as Inventrix, I can raise or lower the requirements 2 steps. And then I think I'm going to skip the rest of my turn. I can't keep having these turns where I only do like 1 thing. It's not great. It's not great. So let's see. I have 7 money. Nope, we're just going to pass. Hopefully it'll pay off. All right, good. They've passed 2 at least. That's something. Produce, produce, produce. We're going to need to buy at least 2 cards so that we can get the planner milestone. Yay, pets! Oh, I like all of these. Okay, so fish is another animal card. They also need plants to go down by 1, even though this fish is clearly just eating another fish. And you'll get 1 point per fish that's on here. I want that. And medical lab, when you play this, your money production goes up 1 step for every 2 builder tags you have. Right now we have 2 builder tags, which isn't terrible. That would give us another one. Fusion power would give us another one. Am I going to buy all of these cards? Pets are nice. because anytime a city is built, you get an animal on the card. And they can't be eaten by other animals. There's a predators card. Fine. We'll buy them all. I just can't buy any cards for the rest of the game. So, okay. Maybe this is why I always lose the game. Maybe I spend too much time preparing and not enough time actually doing. Maybe that's my problem in real life, too. Okay, so we are going to take the planner bonus, which will give us 5 points at the end of the game. That cost us 8 money, which is probably 8 money that we could use on something else. Great. So we could get pets out there for when another city comes, and then we'll have to pass. But that's okay, because next time we're not going to need to buy as many cards. We didn't need to buy all those cards this time either. So when any city tile is placed, add an animal to this card. Yay! And I think just by playing the card, it adds an animal to the card as well, which is nice. So they've raised the temperature. Gross. They're already at 27. They're actually trying to terraform Mars, which I'm not doing. So, bully for them. All right. So we have no money. No money. But we do have 1 pet. So, who's really winning? They are right now. They're winning. All right. Let's just pass. Let's just pass, I said. And let's hope in the 5th generation we finally open up our actions a little bit. All right. So we could spend 7 to get 5 steel, which isn't bad because we do have all those cards that have building tags. Ants eat microbes. So they eat a microbe from one card and put a microbe on this card, and then this card's worth 2. God dang it. Am I going to buy 3 cards again? I could say no. All right, regolith eaters. Now this actually could be really good for us. Add a microbe to this card or spend 2 microbes from this card to raise the oxygen level by 1. We are going to take that one as well. We're not going to take solar wind power because I have to say no to something. We have 20 cards. Ugh. Okay, so remember that extreme cold fungus either gives us a plant or lets us put 2 microbe resources on another card. When symbiotic fungus lets us put a microbe on another card. That card that we just got, regolith eaters, takes microbes and turns it into oxygen. So we're going to want to get that guy out. So let's play regolith eaters. And then we finally have a card that has an action associated with it. So we'll come down here and we will use regolith eaters to add a microbe to the regolith eater card. All right, so from now on, we are going to specialize. We're going to focus on microbe cards. We're going to focus on anything that has anything to do with microbes, plants, animals. We're just going to go full life. Also mining. If we run into any mining cards, I also would like mining cards to get resources. We're going to pass again because, again, we're really good at this game. They only have 4 cards. Means they're probably thinking maybe a little bit more about things than we are, but it's okay. From here on out, we'll be able to actually start doing things on Mars. And that's where we're going to get some points. So these cards, dang it. All right, nitrite reducing bacteria. Either add a microbe to this card or spend 3 microbes from this card to raise your terraforming. We need to get this card. Okay. Farming also isn't bad. But I'm not going to do it because we have shrubs and better shrubs and bushes, and we're not doing it. I have to, this is me saying no, because they are producing 53 money a turn. No, they're producing 31 money a turn, and we are producing 22 money a turn. So they're going to be able to do a couple more things than us, which is not great. Okay, so we have 20 money. We want to get this out. We're close to next turn. Probably if they raise the temperature, we'll be able to get this out. So, extreme cold fungus or grass. We're going to want extreme cold fungus. Electric catapult's not a terrible idea. Nitrite reducing bacteria, we also want to get out. Neither of those are benefited by mineral deposit. The medical lab is, but I don't think I'm ready to play the medical lab. Okay. Extreme cold fungus lets us add 2 to a card. So we're going to play that. And we're going to take that action and add 2 to regolith eaters. Dust seals. Dust seals. Just makes me think of dust bunnies. I don't actually know what a dust bunny is. I just imagine a clump of dust that looks like a bunny. I guess I could Google it. I'll do that after this video. Find out what a dust bunny is. We could play symbiotic fungus as well, which is good. I'm keen to play that. And I could play mineral deposit, which would be good preparation for a future turn. All right. Yeah, let's do multiple things this turn for once. So, symbiotic fungus, we'll take that action, which lets us add a microbe onto another card, which we'll throw on regolith eaters. Purple passed before us. We're going to use regolith eaters to go ahead and raise the temperature. We can trade in 2 microbes to raise the temperature. Or raise the oxygen level. And look at that. Our terraforming rating went up. Finally. And then we will play mineral deposit to have 5 steel for next time. And unless there's something that we want to get out real desperate that we could pay for the steel, we can't. Even if we were real desperate. Oh yeah, look, we're producing 1 energy a turn, and that's turning slowly into heat for us. All right, we took all of our actions. Just double check here. Yep, they're all grayed out. We've used them all. Great. So let's pass. And yes, that is what we want to do. All right. They're making their money. We're making ours. We could get some more production of other kinds. We'll start to get some plant production here pretty soon. I kind of want to see if they're going to raise the temperature again. Ooh, this is good. We are not concerned about any of this. Okay. So this lets you take power from somebody else. So somebody else lowers their power production by 1. You raise yours by 1. The commercial district is adjacent to other cities and gets a point for each city it's adjacent to. So like you could go here and be adjacent to 3 cities, because remember, cities can't touch each other. I'm not that interested in it. That is money though. Insulation lets you turn heat into money. Which is tempting, especially because that's going up so fast. I bet The robot wishes he had that card. And then this, you get a mega credit for each event played by the other player, I want to say. By all players. How many events have I played? 1. All right, it's not worth anything yet. And I'm not going to buy it because I have enough cards. I don't need any of those nonsense cards. Okay. So we could play grass. I feel like our goal was we definitely want this one. Because we can... I like the ones that let you add the resource every turn. Like, we need to get that production going. So this is going to let us either add a microbe to this card or turn 3 microbes into a terraforming rating, which is this number. And it starts with 3 microbes on it. So we're going to be able to boost our terraforming rating this turn, which is good. We'll also be able to boost the oxygen. So we're going to go up twice on that. All right, let's see what else. We could play grass and get some plant production going. Worms, we're not ready for worms yet. Birds are a good ways off. We're not going to be able to play birds till here. Ants, I feel like we had ants. Ants we'll be able to play in a few minutes. So I think what we're going to want to do is... We need some more... we need some more micro production. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we'll play ants this turn. We could probably play ants and something else. Can't play kelp farming yet. Bushes, it's not cold enough for bushes. It's cold enough for grass. Or warm enough for grass, I guess we could say. Okay, so we'll take one of our actions, which will be to turn the 2 regolith eaters, or to use the 2 regolith eaters to raise the oxygen 1 level. And then we can play ants. Now, especially if this character over here is making microbes, we could just eat his microbes with ants, which is something we should... It doesn't look like he is, because he doesn't have any resources. So we'll have to eat our own microbe. But it'll be worth points, so I think it'll be worth it. Because we're making so many microbes. Yeah, I'm okay with it. All right, we're going to play ants. Deedle-dee-dee. And ants are going to eat... Let's use this. That's fine. Okay, we'll do this to add to the regolith eaters. And then maybe they'll play a microbe in the meantime that we can eat. Took a blue card action. God, they're raising that temperature but fast. And then they did an asteroid. Why are they trying to terraform Mars so quickly? Okay, we're going to use symbiotic fungus to add... I guess I could just add it directly onto ants. And then we can always eat them later. We'll use this to boost our terraforming rating by 1. Yes, please. And then let's make sure we've taken all of our actions. we could eat one of the regolith eaters. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, that should be fine. We'll see. And we have 6 money, and so we could play. We could pay for this. That's actually maybe not the worst idea. Is it? Is it a bad idea? Because we don't have any steel production or plant production yet. So I don't want to get that out yet. We're not ready for it. Bing, bong, bing. We're also not ready for that. All right. So we will make sure we did all our actions because sometimes I forget. And we will skip our second turn and we will pass and let production happen.